I am going to talk about dancing in anime openings and endings, using a semi-viral tweet recently to springboard into some other things I would like to talk about, like dance and animation in general, and one of my favorite bits of choreography in animation. All I'll say for now is that Powerline Moggs Bruno Mars and Tevin Campbell has such an amazing voice. This all started with a single tweet compiling openings and endings that had dancing, and that led to the first quote tweet I came across, blaming Mashal and even Shikanoko Noko Koshitantan for the virus of anime openings and endings, throwing in easy dance sequences to try and get a quick TikTok dance trend going. Not gonna lie, no cap, for real, on...
No cap on God, bro.
Just kidding. There are other people noticing this, independently coming to the same conclusion. I think this is more of a mindless need to have a pattern present when there isn't one, so I decided to sit through 61 separate anime airing this season and looking at the openings and endings only. I'm not gonna say the names of all the anime I watched the opening and endings of. I'll just list them out here. You're gonna see it scrolling somewhere. I'll note that Ganbare Nakamura-kun had 5 endings in the 5 episodes so far. Pretty impressive. Kamina Botan Yoeru Sugata wa Yuri no Hana had the same song with different cast members singing and different visuals for each of the 3 videos, and I included those. So let's talk first about the anime openings. Now, there are 14 anime with dancing in the opening sequence. Those are Otonari no Tenshi-sama, the 2nd season, Dr. Stone, Science Future Part 3, Marriagetoxin, Marimashita Iruma-kun, Season 4, Otako ni Yasashi Gal wa Inai, Akane Banashi, Nippon Sangoku, Kanojo Okarishimasu, Season 5, Niwatori Fighter, Kill Ao Mata Korosarete Shimatta no Desne, Tantei-sama, Yusha no Rokotsu de Awajima Hyake, and Maho no Shimai Luluto Lily. I don't have many notes for most of these. This isn't going to be a commentary on the choreography itself. There was like one little second in the Dr. Stone opening where they're doing some finger movements, rhythmic finger movements, and I counted that. Marriagetoxin could be a main example for the original tweet. The opening sequence until the part where that had the little simple 2-step dance movement had a different tone in the visuals. It was a seemingly random, simple 2-move dance. It sort of resembles some of the moves in Poke Dance. You know the one I'm talking about. A boogie woogie bang bang. Let's stop right there. Next, little note. Marimashita Iruma-kun 4th season has dancing, but the series has had dancing since season 1 back in fall 2019, way before the culprits. Mashal's Creepy Nuts opening back in winter 2024, and Shikanoko Noko Koshitantan in summer 2024. Otagal's opening, quick TikTok dance trend. I wish, alright? I want to see this happen. It's not happened yet. The full song is out by Idol, but it's not happening. There's people aren't dancing it. I need my TikTok trends. I need my fix. Going forward, Akane Banashi. Interesting pick here. It was the first video in the original tweet, the catalyst tweet, if you will. The dance is actually a traditional folk dance called kapore. I could stop there, but it also occurs in the manga, so it isn't like the dance was meant to be some giant long con to get kids on TikTok to hit the yoinky sploinky and blow up in popularity. And even then, I don't think people are going to keep watching because Rakugo isn't that popular. There aren't that many anime slash manga centered around it. Joshiraku and Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju are 2 that come to mind without looking them up. There's several others out there. Well, not even several, just like a few others out there, but they're not in the top of the dome piece. I'll link some optional reading and videos if you are interested. in Kapore, but I won't linger too much on this. Nippon Sangoku, does this pass as a dance for virality? It's like a wedding-esque dance. I'm including it anyway just because, you know, bare feet on the timeline. We used to pray for times like this. Let's go to the next one. Unrelated to anything, but I'm not watching Rent a Girlfriend season 5, but I thumbed through the 3rd episode, and the entire episode, none of the characters moved from like the middle of the water park. It all took place there. There were some flashbacks and stuff, but they didn't move. They were just sitting there. They were having a heated drama moment. I got my cortisol spiking. It shouldn't have, but I'm calm now. That's good. Next, Niwatori Fighter had some of the chickens dancing, but is this really something that is going to be a TikTok trend, you know? Is Urban Rescue Ranch going to get some chickens to do the dance for the gram and TikTok? Kill Owl, this probably shouldn't have choreography in the opening, but the opening song is by aespa, so kind of expected to see choreography here. They also did an opening for Beyblade X. They're making moves in the anime world, I'll say that. Yusha no Rokotsu, they had an actual dude dancing. There was like just an actual dude in a black morph suit with a sun mask on, just dancing in the background. That was interesting. There was also some animated dancing. I included this in the count just because of that, and because of the actual dude, obviously. Awajima Hyake. Does ballet count? The last one, Maho no Shimai Luluto Lily, had just a small little dance sequence. We'll touch on this later. Let me lay out some numbers here. Of the 59 anime openings, 14 had some dancing involved. That's around 24%. Not a full 1/4, but pretty close. Don't have the previous seasons to compare, but this really isn't a lot when you look at the season as a whole. There is one anime included that in the original tweet titled Dandelion that I didn't include because it falls under O&A on my anime list, and I just got the TV from my anime list. I also didn't include iPre because the list was getting long, and even then, even without including them, it doesn't change much here. I just wanted to let you know. Let's go on to the anime endings that included dancing. There are only 7. Otonari no Tenshi-sama, Gambare Nakamura-kun, Yoa Yoa Sensei, Nigetsuri Kuroneko to Majo no Kyoushitsu, Awajima Hyake, and Maho no Shimai Luluto Lily. Some things to note are that Otonari no Tenshi Season 2, Awajima Hyake, and Maho no Shimai Luluto Lily all have dancing in the opening and ending. Nakamura has 5 endings so far, and there's only one where he's dancing, and he's doing his best. He's really doing his best in the dancing, and that's all that matters. For Awajima Hyake again, does ballet count? Maho no Shimai Luluto Lily. Magical girl shows often have a dance in the ending sequence, so kind of expected. Let me go into the numbers here. Of the 67 endings, again, Gambare-kun had 5 endings, and for the 5 episodes so far, and Kamina Botan Yoeru Sugata wa Yuri no Hana had 3 separate visuals with 3 different singers for the ending. 7 had some dancing, meaning 10% have dancing. Putting it all together, 126 anime openings and endings. Of that, only 21 had dancing, meaning only 17% had dancing. The numbers, they're just for me to visualize things, you know, just to make things easier for me as I go into this next section. The original sentiment of the tweet, I don't think it's looking at this cynically or anything. I think it was just like an observation based on the video that was in front of them, and that's fine. I'll just be using it as a springboard into something I did want to talk about. Let me bring up an example. Let's say that I say that anime is trying to radicalize the youth into taking up arms to fight against their local lords because there's some swordplay in 14 anime openings. Hey, stop laughing. All right? That was serious. This is actually happening. Just kidding. It just isn't happening to the extent that some people are trying to make it out to be. When you lay things out in front of someone, you can manipulate just about anything depending on how the data is laid out. It is sort of recency bias. People see several dance sequences laid out in front of them and they're just thinking, wow, that's happening a lot, without really digging into it If I wanted to get into the weeds, I would check how much time was occupied in dancing in openings and endings versus not. That would be a significantly lower percentage than the yes or no percentage I presented. Again, only 17% of the 126 anime opening and endings had dancing, or 21 total. If I missed anything, let me know. I did the best I could, so if you want to bring up OVAs, ONAs, movies, specials, continuing series, anything, just bring it up. I'll thumb through the comments and take it into consideration. Start thinking. I want this to be a little dialogue, but I'm gonna do just another pivot. I want to talk about dancing in animation. But before that, I want to mention something in the reverse. The intro of Go For It Nakamura had no choreography. The opening had no choreography, but it did inspire someone to do a little dance for it, you know? I want to point people to Jujubon, a choreographer on Twitter who made some slick moves for the intro of Go For It Nakamura, despite it not having any choreography. I guess you don't really need to create a dance to get people posting dances. Something else I did, I read over a blog by Betsy Bedos. She's listed as a choreography of video reference for The Princess and the Frog, animation choreography for Mickey's Christmas Carol, and animation choreographer for Banjo the Woodpile Cat. She has some history, you know. She worked alongside and witnessed some eccentric dancers, and she mentions how seeing their cartoonesque and exaggerated movements ignited character ideas and in her and other aspiring animators likely. I will link the blog in the description as well for a good read if you are interested. I bring this up to point out a way that dancing gets translated into animation and how dancing can inspire animation. All of this is just gonna bring me to cinema history. Cinema, a Goofy movie. Eye to Eye, Anthony Thomas bringing the choreography for Powerline, and Tevin Campbell giving a voice to Powerline. Interesting thing about the reference for the dance is that Anthony Thomas, he was a reference for Powerline himself. They had another dancer who was a little more flappy, you know, a little more loose, sort of like Goofy. He was a reference for Goofy, and they brought in a shorter dancer to be the reference for Mac. It all came together in Eye to Eye. Bruno Mars has nothing on Powerline. He will never reach his heights. Watch a Goofy movie. It is such a well put together movie with some heat in the soundtrack. You'll love it. I loved it. I rewatched it recently, last year, I recall. Still holds up, solid, hand drawn. They gotta draw it by hand. Anyway, that's about it. Question, are they putting dances in anime openings and endings just to get free publicity on TikTok? No. Do photographers only take pictures just to post it on Instagram? No. Photography predated Instagram. Dancing in anime openings predated TikTok. It isn't happening. Before I sign off, I'm gonna wake up some sleeper cells out there with this little jingle. Hare Hare Yukai. We all know they were dancing to this before even the TikTok creator was alive, probably. Don't fact check that. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Remember, dream big, dream safe, good luck, and I'll see you when I see you. I hate Sundays, 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 I hate Sundays. 日曜嫌いなのか